Hello, in this Kotlin programming video, we are going to look at default and named, arguments. So if I just quickly create a function, it's going to be simple and I'm going to call it add, and we can pass in two parameters into here. We could pass in num1 colon in. So we've already done this before. This is part of the parameters video, so I recommend checking that out if you haven't already done so. And I'm just going to print it out. You could do a return statement. Again, I've covered that as well, but the principle is the same. So do num1 plus num2. Let's see what we get. Actually, we're not going to get anything because I haven't actually run this method. So I'll wait for it to compile. So I need to put the actual function call here. So add, passing two values, 5 and 8. That is fine. I'm happy with those values. So we should get a result of 13 because 5 plus 8 is, well, 13. Okay, that's all great. What about if we want to have default arguments? So if we don't pass in any arguments, so all of the arguments, we want some default values. It's actually really simple. So if I put equals afterwards, 1, and I put equals again, 1, the arguments by default now will be 1. Obviously, we could do 1 and 2. They don't have to be the same. And obviously, these can be different data types. And I'm going to cover that towards the end of this video. So if I go back to this. At the moment, if we run it, nothing changes. Nothing at all. And the reason nothing changes is because we're actually passing in values. If I commented this out, and I just did this will yield a result of 2 because we've passed in no values, therefore it gets the default values of 1 and 1. But watch what happens if I were to still keep this function call but remove these. We get an error because it says no value passed for parameter num1 and num2. There we go. Okay, so that is, just one little thing to bear in mind. I'm actually going to create one extra function. I'm going to call this epic function. And I am going to have, a character first. So I'm just going to call it letter, for example, colon char, comma, and I'll have a number colon int. Okay, and what we are going to do is call this method. It's called epic function, and the first parameter should be a character, so I'm going to pass in, I, comma, and for the number I pass in 65. Like the values don't really matter, and I'm just going to do a couple of print lines. So I'm going to print line. I'm going to do dollar letter and dollar number. So we just want to see what we get. Obviously, the way you manipulate them is totally up to you. And if we wait for this to compile, okay, so we get I and 65. Okay, so that is pretty darn cool. Whereas if we were to, let me show you something. If with, this one here, I put this. We get a result of 6. And the reason we get that is even though we've only passed one parameter, it's getting assigned to the first parameter and the second one has a default value, so it's okay. Whereas what happens if I try and, just only assign one parameter here, or pass in one parameter? So if I say epic function and I just say 45 and I put comma, we get an error. And that is because the first parameter is meant to be a letter, as it's, telling you. But what we can do, now how it says, letter here, we can actually override that. So what we can do is this. So if we put number, so actually, first of all, we need to have some default values for me to demonstrate this. So if I have a default value of A, and we can have a default value here as well, maybe we can have a default value of 9. Okay, so this will work fine because we got default values, but if I put a number like 45, it gives an error because by default the first value that is expected is a character. But if we only want to pass in values for the other parameters and the previous ones have, default parameters, that's fine. But you just got to do a slight little change here. So if we only want to pass something in for number, you have to do number equals another value. So if I say 65, see, we get no errors now. And if we run that line, we should get A and 65. A and 65. So you're using the default character parameter, but because it's detected that we've passed in a value for the parameter that's labeled number, it's used that value instead of 9. So that's it for default and named arguments. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.